Hey, what's up guys, this is Astranox, Banshee 13 with this team that you see here. I'm running double soul weavers, Charles, Champion Zerato, Angelic Montmorancy and Destina. I mean, great healers. I'll be showing my gear and my stats at the end, after the battles. Okay, so Charles wearing Elbrus Ritual Sword, Champion Zerato. I'm trying him out on the, wow, I forgot the name of the artifact. The mage artifact that increases the damage when you have a debuff on the target. I'll remember it. So it's a 4-star artifact. Angelic Montmorancy, she's wearing Rod of Amaryllis. She's quick. She has high effect resistance. Debuff should not land on her. I have high effect resistance on Destina as well. About 160% on Destina, 200% on Angelic Montmorancy. Champion Zerato, he is great when debuffs land on him. You cannot use Rowana in here. As you might have noticed now, Champion Zerato didn't heal with his skill 1 because... not this skill. Right here, at the last line, when the caster attacks on their turn, all enemies cannot receive healing. So there you go. You cannot use Touch of Rikos. You cannot use Rowana. Reactive healing will not work. Counter attack maybe built in like Champion Zerato with healing attached to the hero or like whatever. Like they have counter in their set, in their skills, and they have like lifesteal set on. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. But if it's your turn, you can definitely do the healing. So this boss, all stage 13 of the hunts, they have effect resistance 80%. That means you need 65% effectiveness to counter that. 15% you cannot counter because that's the innate resist built into the game. And it's all sorts of annoying, that 15% for us. And yeah, anyways, let's go through the skills here. So when a Misty Chain, that's when the split happens, is defeated, increases attack and defense of any remaining Misty Chains by 50%. This effect can be stacked. So the more of them you kill, the one that are remaining will deal more and more damage. The boss, by the way, is immune to all these effects. Poison is one that you don't see on bosses too often. And well, immune to the Banshee Queen curse, of course. That is the curse she applies on your heroes, and like Champion Zerato could redirect it. Right now that it's on Destina. It's on Destina, and she has high effect resistance. So I'm wondering if the boss has higher effectiveness compared to like stage 11, because 160% effect resistance was enough to resist pretty much everything, unless this curse cannot be resisted, and I think that's how it works. Let us know in the comment section if you know the exact answer. Caladra, yeah, the artifact, it's popping on top of Champion Zerato, my god. I was running Chatty, the 5-star artifact that was during the event with Cirilla, the Halloween event. That artifact provides you with a shield, and you should probably wear it if your Champion Zerato is not as tanky. So yeah, I mean, that's the artifact that you wear if you want to solo Banshee in stage 11, but you might be able to do 12, but 13, that's where the new mechanics comes in. I don't know if 12 actually has the you cannot heal on the boss's turn, right? So increases damage suffered by all allies from Earth Elemental heroes by 30%. So yeah, Earth heroes will deal 30% more damage because they are at elemental advantage. That's the way it works. But if you are not using Earth elemental heroes, so non-Earth elemental heroes will take 30% more damage. So it's harder to, of course, gear these heroes. In my case, Angelic Montmorancy and Champion Zerato are taking 30% more damage. When attacking a non-Earth elemental heroes with Vengeful Spirit, recovers the caster's health. Yeah, so if you're gonna be using heroes that are not of the Earth element, it's gonna be longer. The battle will just last longer unless you bring unhealable unless you apply Unhealable on her. You see, like, she's recovering. It was 5,700 health. It is a lot of health. Queen Scream, when the caster's health falls below a certain percentage, attacks all enemies with a shrill cry, dispelling all buffs before dispelling all debuffs inflicted on the caster and recovering health. Activates an additional effect according to the number of times the skill has been activated. So basically, at certain threshold, that is basically before the split, she attacks all enemies, us, and she will dispel our buffs and dispel all debuffs inflicted on herself and recover health. So once again, Unhealable is definitely going to help you out to speed things up, but my run is going to be longer because I don't have it part of my arsenal. Also here, activate an additional effect according to the number of times this skill has been activated. So basically, after the first split, there's going to be like new things that will happen. So first activation, activates Spirit Shield after attacking. Second activation, when an enemy is poisoned, inflicts a random enemy with Banshee Queen Curse for 1 turn. So it's great to have 2 sources of this spell. I guess transferring debuff from Champion Zerato, that doesn't count. Actually, he can get rid of it, but she will be immune. It's okay. So it's kind of like he's self-sufficient in terms of cleansing. So Angelic Montmorancy can work on Charles. In my case, the effect resistance is high on Angelic Montmorancy and Destina, so they are not being hit with poison effects, so that's very nice for me. And you could do the same. I mean, Angelic Montmorancy is not so hard to have high effect resistance. Second activation, when an enemy is poisoned, inflicts a random enemy with... Yeah, that's what I was reading. Banshee Queen Curse, if you get that and you don't cleanse it, it will like one-shot you, or at least deal a ton of damage. Inflicts an unable to be buffed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, and 4 poison effects randomly among the enemy team for 3 turns. So yeah, that, I mean, the unable to be buffed debuff is, well, in my case it's not that bad, right? But Charles and Champion Zerato do have, you know, the defense buff on skill 3. Then we have the debuff immunity from Angelic Montmorancy, and potentially the continuous healing from her skill 2 that would trigger. We do have, of course, the attack buff from Charles. So all these things, if we do have the unable to be buffed debuff, these things are going to be causing some problems for us. Spirit Shield summons 4 Banshee before disappearing into fog when all Banshees are not defeated within 3 turns. That's the countdown you see at the bottom left of her health bar. You see how many turns are left before things go badly for you, basically. When all Banshee are not defeated within 3 turns, the Banshee Queen will return and inflict devastating damage. That's it. So she will come back with the, you know, the Banshees on her side, by her side, and she will do some crazy damage. After using this skill increases the caster's attack and defense, the effect can be stacked. So yeah, I mean, she will be harder to deal with as the battle progresses. The more of these phases that happen, the more attack and speed she will have. So you need to deal with her ASAP. Calls upon the Vengeful Spirit to attack 2 enemies, including the target, inflicting poison for 3 turns. Poison, poison, poison is everywhere. When the target is already inflicted with poison, the Vengeful Spirit is called back again to attack all enemies. Inflicting Banshee Queen Curse on a random enemy, damage dealt increases every time this skill is used. So once again, another mechanic that, like, she deals more and more damage the more she uses this skill. And poison is everywhere in this battle, so you need to deal with it, because if she's gonna attack you again and you have a poison effect on whoever she's targeting, she will, yeah, I mean, when the target is already infected with poison, the Vengeful Spirit is called back again to attack all enemies. So the whole team will be attacked, and that's start to add up. Like that damage becomes pretty crazy. So let's check the battle result here. Wow, the healing of Angelic Montmorancy, because I didn't have Shimadra staff on Destina before. I was running like Prophetic Candlestick, but man, yeah, that Shimadra staff did increase the healing output by 30%. All green numbers are getting increased by 30%, so it's helping Champion Zerato a bit. And of course, Destina and Angelic Montmorancy, all green numbers are getting boosted out of that thing. I guess I'm not gonna be running this thing again. It's pretty long. It's definitely very long. This was just to show you guys, like, I mean, a team, right? A team that can do it, and I'll be talking about, you know, potential contenders, like good heroes that you could bring in there to help you out to deal with this boss. So, first things first, Champion Zerato, he's plus 15 skill ups, right? He's an amazing hero, and the fact that he transferred those debuffs is a huge deal, beside the Queen's Curse, which the boss is immune to. If she wasn't, that would be definitely sweet. He's run on lifesteal set and defense set, whatever I was able to muster. You don't want effect resistance on him because you don't want him to resist debuffs. You want him to receive the debuff so he can transfer them over. In terms of survival, 13,000 health is pretty sweet. So it works out just fine. And your boots, you don't want speed. You're going to be running attack percentage because you want him slow to fully use the counter mechanic that is built into his skill. Now, next one is Charles. Charles, he likes to correct postures. Like, that's his specialty, basically. You've got decrease attack, which is definitely helpful. Cuts the attack in half. 35% chance to activate smash. The effect is doubled if the target has a buff. And this, well, you dispel, you know, all buffs on the target. The thing is, like, yeah, some of our skills are not really useful in that battle. So increased attack is great. Increased defense is great. Here it has AoE. Great for the split. The AoE Champion Zerato attacking 2 targets, that speeds up the clear for when the boss actually splits. The attack buff as well from you know, Charles. He's built ultra slow. As you might have noticed, he's got 0 speed on his gear. Yep, he's on base speed 109. I don't know how I managed to do it, but I did it. You know, he is built for, like, Earth will be at elemental advantage. That means you only need 85% crit chance, right? So you can bring down your crit chance on your damage dealers to 85%. Remember, we're going to be able to reforge. Now we can reforge, so your crit chance is going to go up. So you might have to tweak your gear. And this, you know, attack and boost the activation of Smash by 10%, which is really nice. So yeah, high attack on him, high crit damage. Effectiveness could be increased to 65%. Champion Zerato, the same deal here. The effectiveness could go up for him to lend his debuffs, you know. So that's something that I can work upon. Now, the sustain in the team. Angelic Montmorancy, an amazing healer. You can get her from the connection, 3-star healer, so beast. You can see here the effect resistance at 190, plus 18%, so she's over 200% effect resistance. And it seems to have worked out pretty well because she and Destina were resisting like a lot of effects, right? Unable to be buffed, debuffed, even on top of all the poison effects. The Queen's Curse, the thing is, I didn't read that the Queen's Curse was unresistible, so I believe that maybe in stage 13 with 200% effect resistance, you might be able to resist everything now. Stage 11, you only needed, you know, in PV content across the whole game, you only needed like 160% effect resistance. It might actually be like 155, but it worked out. It worked out, but now it looks like you need more because, let me just finish with Angelic Montmorancy. Rod of Amaryllis to increase her healing output. These boots I just reforged, and boots are definitely speed boots on a speed set. Definitely should be like your priority, especially on like if you have a speed booster, combat readiness booster, heroes you want to go first in PvP. Yeah, boots. That's gonna be straight up a 5 speed. So yeah, definitely an amazing hero. The cleansing, constant cleansing from this one debuff, right? But this is yeah, dispel 2 debuffs. So just a crazy amount of healing output out of her. So let me jump on to my Destina, which I'm having issues finding. There she is. She's built kind of weird. Her survival is, I mean, between the defense and health, I guess her survival, her effective health is not bad. Her speed is okay. She's not on a speed set. It's just gear I had from farming Golem way back when, you know, I got this account going in Europe. So yeah, that's her stats. To be honest, like, getting high effect resistance will definitely hurt your survival stats, but at least you know your defense break will not land on you in PvP, but also in PvE, all these debuffs. So yeah, so her skills, you know, like you could get some healing increase on skill 1. This still needs skill ups. This is maxed out because, I mean, it's beast. Memory imprint on her, it does help. Just a bit of health increase. Is it health? Yeah. So that's her gear. Bunch of effect resistance, speed, health, defense across the board. 0 effectiveness on her. That's very nice. No wasted stat there. And yeah, I mean, effect resistance main stat ring. So that means like it could be health or defense percentage. So of course, like when you go effect resistance, that's what happens. Less defense and health, less stats total. So here, kind of weird, but I went for effect resistance, you know. Nothing insane, it just works out. Shimajo staff is beast, 30% healing increase at plus 15, plus... that's the thing, I forgot to count. The effect resistance of 20% from Shimajo staff. So she did get the Queen's curse applied on her, and she has 20 plus 170. So 190% effect resistance. Still, the curse did land on her. So it must be 200% plus effect resistance that you need. Yeah, interesting, very interesting. So yeah, that's Destina. Now let's look at heroes that you could use, you know, in... let me unplug the charger. The phone's getting real hot. Okay, so looking at heroes, of course, you want to stick with Earth as much as possible. If you're gonna, you know, if you're in the struggles, Earth will take less damage, will deal 30% more damage. Other elements are taking 30% more damage. That's significant, right? So Vildred, he's definitely a hero that is used a lot in Banshee, like stage 11. Great for clearing the ads. He's gonna be able to just kill and just attack again, cleave. Just an amazing hero. Yufin can definitely do a lot of work in there. You will need to balance, like, you will just need to be able to take down these ads before it's too late. So you could go with one damage dealer that deals AoE damage, like a cleaver, and the other earth like damager could be a single target damage dealer to just burst the queen faster. The thing you have to keep in mind is that defense break will definitely speed up your run. So yes, Charles, he's amazing. So he's definitely top contender there. Now, if you need defense break, well, Earth Bellona can definitely do the job. And she's got plenty of cleaving as well. Plus, she deals damage based on the target's max health. But the queen, I didn't check how much health the queen had on stage 13. You can let us know in the comment section. But I remember 60,000 on stage 11. So I don't think she's probably like under 100,000 health. But if she's close to 100,000 health, like that means Daydream Joker with defense break is starting to look pretty good, right? Because Wyvern 11 is at 139,000, 140,000 almost health. So Daydream Joker is definitely a big deal there. So of course Vivian will definitely be an amazing hero for you. Greater attack buff, you know, for... Wait, isn't it herself? That's it. For herself, for 3 turns and attack for the rest of the group. The immunity will play a big part there because, of course, debuffs are crazy there. But the thing is, when the boss splits, right, you get your buffs removed. So you can't fully rely on that. You will need some cleansing. So you could have Vivian and not have to rely on double soul weavers. You could definitely speed things up by running triple damage dealers, being Earth, and one healer, right? Like Destina, she's doing fine. She's doing fine, especially if you can have like a Vivian or Charles with the attack buff in there. That could definitely work out just fine for you. Pavel got buffed, so he could do a ton of damage with his single target attack skill 3. Self-attack buff, AoE. I mean, he cannot trigger counterattack. I mean, the thing is, it doesn't matter in Banshee, but that's for PvP. The increased hit chance doesn't work. I mean, it lands, but the bosses cannot miss their attacks in the hunts. The bosses only. So, of course, like, you know, your one-shot team comps of, like, Eufine one-shotting, like Charles dealing insane damage, and then you got your one-shotter that completes the deal. Like, I've seen Ludwig, I've seen even Bellona chain her skill, what was it? Her skill 1 and 2, her skill 3, killing the Banshee 11. Vivian as the attack buffer. Pavel can probably do a one-shot now after the buff. Baiken, of course, crazy damage. I'm sure like these heroes can still do real great. Even a little bit one-shot Banshee 11, but we're talking about 13. It's different. The health is higher. You won't be able to manage a one-shot unless you have everything perfect. I mean, I'm talking Iron Fan, and you have the hero with the highest multiplier. Probably Baiken can do it. I mean, let us know in the comment section if you think like a hero can do it. Baiken can do some pretty crazy damage. Eufine, Alencia, I mean, defense break out of her, so that's good. She won't need that much healing. She doesn't need to be babysat that much because, you know, she's a bruiser, right? Her damage is proportional to her max health, so that's great. And you got that Mind's Eye triggering her, you know, she can attack another time when she triggers it. Not a bad hero. Not a bad hero, so she could definitely be part of your team. Rowana, her reactive healing, her skill 2 will not work. I tested her, it doesn't work. So her healing output will be quite low compared to like a Destina. It just doesn't work out, right? So that's unfortunate. What else do we have? To be honest, Lots could be used, but I wouldn't recommend him because continuous healing will be removed. Even though his healing output got increased, he could work out, but I don't really recommend him. A hero that's been very popular in like free-to-play teams for Banshee 11, and I feel like he potentially could work, is Jetched. Jetched, first he's got speed, memory imprint, he's Earth, so that's already pretty solid. He's free, can get him from connection, 100% chance to dispel after skill up, and of course the skill ups will only take rare catalysts, stigmas, and gold, so that's also great. So you've got the constant dispel, so you make him fast with decent tankiness. You've got the dispel here, plus if you wear one just potion vial, 4-star artifact, that's another 100% chance to dispel. He could potentially dispel 2 debuffs every time he goes. That's huge. That is huge. Increase speed for your team, right? This deals a bit of damage, but who cares? Continuous healing, pretty solid. 15% of the allies' max health. It's based on each ally's health, max health. So that's definitely not bad. The decreased hit chance will not really help you though. Against the boss it will not help you. So defense break, Clury, Falconeer Clury, you do her specialty change, Clury and to Falconeer Clury. She's gonna do great. I think she can definitely do great. Especially if you wear like Aureus on her, she'll do just fine. Mercenary Helga, you could use her because, I mean, defense break, if you did her specialty change, she could do just fine. So extending buff on herself could definitely be pretty good. I mean, increasing attack and effectiveness for the group. I wouldn't solely rely on the effectiveness buff out of her to balance your, you know, effectiveness to bring it to 65. But Maybe that could be that buff that, like, you know, the uptime might be like higher than 50%. At least you make her really quick. Maybe it's 60 to 70% uptime, unless it gets dispelled, of course. But that could be pretty good. You could require less effectiveness across the board, and that leaves you more stats for some other things, you know, offense, survival. And the attack buff is very nice with the defense break. So Mercenary Helga, definitely a hero that you could use. I feel like you will need some pretty solid amount of damage if you're going to be going with the One Soul Weaver route, right? So One Soul Weaver, you need to make sure that Soul Weaver is really quick, preferably with like high effect resistance. That would alleviate some pressure. But if it's Destina, more debuffs means combat readiness boosting, right? Let's just look real quick. The more debuffs on you, the better it is. You boost combat readiness, and the healing is huge out of her. Boosting combat readiness on skill 2. You can lower cooldown with her exclusive equipment here, or you can increase the combat readiness by, I believe, 20% on skill 2. Small amount of healing. You won't be soul burning on auto. But she's all around like a solid hero for you. Other possibilities, right? Let's go back to 3-star heroes. So yeah, Mercenary Helga, Falconer Clary. Yeah, Kiris, she's not gonna work out. Immune to poison, that boss. Jesh can definitely be quite solid. He will provide some healing, but keep in mind, like, he is a Soul Weaver. He has access to Soul Weaver's artifacts. I wouldn't say he's going to be dealing some damage or good damage or even damage at all out of his kit. So make him like really quick. The dispelling will be great. The more hero with high effect resistance in the team, the less you know, debuffs will be applied, less pressure. If you don't have someone that removes all debuffs in one shot, then yeah, you should try to maybe have him like high speed, you know, a high effect resistance, so at least he doesn't receive debuffs, so he can dispel other heroes in the team. But he should be paired with a dedicated healer. I would say by himself, he's definitely going to be in the struggles. You could even go with like a Celestine, because he's going to be using skill 1 after skill 3, so that's healing out of that. But I would say, like, yeah, it really depends. It really depends. He could be that backup cleanser, and with the Celestine, that could work out just fine. Other contenders, let's look at, yeah, Falconer Clary, definitely. You could potentially, I don't know, but Purgus could be used. I mean, the counter attack, the thing is, you would have to make him deal a ton of damage for it to work. He could stun the adds, but it's not about controlling the damage output of those adds. It's more about taking them down. So you could use Ren. She does have some healing. The random buffs, that's definitely like a random thing. It's not something you can rely upon. But yeah, you got the decreased defense and the healing and the buffing. That's pretty nice. Of course, the dispel, you won't need that. But yeah, the unhealable, right? The unhealable. Who even has the unhealable? Wait a second. Do we have someone with unhealable in the Earth Hero department? Let us know in the comment section, guys, because from the top of my head, I don't remember anyone having unhealable, unless, no, not an exclusive equipment. Let me think about this. Baiken, right? Like crazy bleed and then detonation. But that's a Guilty Gear collaboration hero. You can't just have Baiken. Wait, maybe. No? So, really? Is it that bad? My god. That is weird. I thought they probably did it on purpose. Let me look at heroes, I'll get back. So there's more Earth heroes I want to talk about, but yes, unhealable is just like not on Earth heroes. So of course we have Sez, we have Sigrid that do have unhealable, we have Seaside Bellona, which would be a pretty solid contender for Banshee 13 because she's got that 30% damage redirect to the frontliner as survival to sort of like mitigate that 30% extra damage she's going to be taking. And of course she's going to be getting focus quick, so that skill 2 will trigger quite often during the battle. Defense break out of her, so definitely like a solid choice, right? You should try her out if you can make it happen, and she will deal a ton of damage. Other hero with unhealable, you have Misty Chain, but she's gonna be on the squishy side. She does have attack break on her skill 2 as well, but I think she's gonna get sniped pretty easily. So Earth, other heroes, right? I mean, Violet, I guess he could be used. He can take care of debuffs on himself. He can counter as well during the battle. The attack break will be pretty useful. So yeah, a lot of the Earth heroes can be used for damage, but you should focus on one single target damage dealer and one cleaver, or double cleave if you feel confident about. Well, I mean, you will murder the ads, it's just the boss will take longer. Sid, definitely an insane hero, insane burst damage out of him, and he has defense break as well. If he has increased speed on himself, he will defense break, and it's guaranteed for one turn. You will need to build effectiveness on him. Definitely a very strong hero for free-to-play teams, right? Sid can definitely be included in there. Of course, he's a 4-star, but still viable. Armin, right? She's a knight, and she could wear Aureus, and she heals barriers. She also dispels. She dispels. Man, this skill has a lot of text now. Decrease damage suffered by all allies by 10% when this skill is unavailable. When more than one damage reduction effect is granted, only the strong. So I guess you wouldn't have to use Aureus on her. You could use another knight artifact, but I mean, she's not going to be able to stun the boss. Decrease hit chance won't help you. The poison won't help you. The increased defense of the caster, not really going to help because, I mean, she's already going to be able to survive. But is it? It might be on her. Yeah, wait a second. Where is the Dispel? The Dispel is on her exclusive equipment, I believe. Yeah, I think that's it. So she can definitely be used, but I wouldn't say that she's going to be a game changer for you. Definitely not. Like, if you can get Seaside Bellona in there, I'll try to get a team going in Banshee 13 with Seaside Bellona later. But it looks like she was taking a ton of damage the way mine is built. So yeah. I think this might cover it. I feel there's plenty of options. You could go like a Banshee 11 oriented team, not a one-shot team oriented setup, but a composition that is balanced around healing, cleansing. You might need double soul weavers, and yeah, unless you use Jetch plus a dedicated healer / cleanser, you can do just fine. One cleaver, one single target damage dealer, or double cleavers. Work on try to get defense break in the comp because it's gonna definitely speed things up, preferably on skill 1, right? So that would definitely be a plus. And the attack buff, I would say, would be extra. The attack buff will help you more on the ad split because defense break will be hard to apply on all of them unless you got an AoE defense break. But I would say that defense break on skill 1 would be way better because most of the time you're fighting the boss, right? And if you bring, let's say, a Seaside Bellona, you got the unhealable there, the target debuff, you got the defense break. I mean, her kit is crazy for this place, but she's ice, so she's gonna be taking more damage. I'll try her out. You guys should try her out if you are having some difficulties, but I feel like we have plenty of options for Banshee, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Okay, anyways, that's gonna be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm Astranox. Like, comment, and subscribe for more. Press the bell icon to be notified whenever I release a new video. And check out my other videos. They should be showing up on the screen now. I got playlists of all sorts for PVE and PvP, Arena, Guild Wars, guys, tips and how-tos, and a bit for 62+. So check those out if you haven't. And also join my Discord server. The link is in the description. It's free, guys. We have over 1,000 members. If you want to get helped or help the community, join us. And stay safe out there, guys. COVID-19 is no joke. Stay home as much as possible. I'm Astranox. That's really it for this one. Good luck in all you do. Peace out for now.